The other day I was, just tooling on the interwebs, and Google gives you this little news feed on Chrome, and so I'm like looking at it, and I saw this wonderful thing from Carscoops, and it's titled "The Offbeat" because, and it was on the new electric appliance named the charger from Stellantis, and I looked at it and couldn't believe what I was looking at. It's just ridiculous at this point. I, um, I am just amazed by the amount of propaganda and disinformation and just absolute flat out spin that's put on these electric appliances. And I think that's the thing I have the biggest issue with, besides it being ramrodded down our throats by a government that has no concept of what the free market means. Yeah, that I mean, honestly, that's 2 things that truly just kinda twist me kinda wrong on these. Um, buy whatever you want, but, at least give me the opportunity to buy what I want, and that's not what's happening. So let's take a look at this article. This article is absolutely hilarious. It's from Carscoops, which is just an access media. They, the USA Today of car information, to put it mildly. The title of it, the 2024 Dodge Charger Scat Pack terrible 260-mile range is still better than a 1968 Chargers. First of all, there's 2 errors in this thing. Well, there's 1 error in this. It's not a 2024, it's a 2025. I don't understand why the access media needs to lie that there's anything coming out for 2024. That's just insane. I have a video, um, that I did on how many days supply they have, because they're having the last call, where they basically have a year's supply of cars that they can't sell. Go figure. I'm digressing a little on this. So this is what we would call a copium. And now you're wondering what copium is. Well, copium, according to the English dictionary, the Collins English Dictionary, it's a slang, a substance said to have been ingested by those who remain unduly optimistic in the face of defeat or disappointment. Uh, Origin, humorous blend of cope and opium. And that's what we're getting now with the EV people. EV people are very interesting people. They will never admit that there's massive issues with their vehicles because they just, they bought the secret sauce and they're all in it. The access media is just going to go and make it sound like it'll do everything, including cure cancer. So let's take a look at this insane article by Chris Chilton. The classic V8 Charger is a fairly big fuel tank, but also a really big appetite for gas. The Charger may have gone electric. No, it hasn't actually. There's a gas powered version, and that's probably the one that's going to stay. But that's a whole nother issue. But CEO Tim Kuniskis, who I basically think of as a carnival barker, not a CEO. This guy has zero decision making process at Dodge. I respect him much less than I do Farley or even Barra at General Motors because they actually are CEOs that actually take decisions at their companies. This guy comes off as kind of like a clown, and I don't think I think Dodge deserves better. It really does. Um, so they went out of his way to explain the 2024 Charger, which it's not. It's a 2025 Charger appliance launched that the company's first EV definitely wasn't designed and engineered with efficiency and driving range as a top priority, thus defeating the purpose of these electric things. That is literally to save the environment as everybody starts running around and saying, even though they do nothing to save it, this is a pointless vehicle. This is literally like making a 3/4 ton truck that can't tow anything. I mean, seriously, this is silliness, just utter silliness. Every decision on this car was made Hertz efficiency. Fretzonic, which I have no idea what that is. Hertz efficiency. 305, 325s. That's a section with tire. Hertz efficiency. 16-inch brakes. Hertz efficiency. Ken has told the media. Really? The base electric charger with 496 horsepower, Daytona RT, the Fretzonic, Scat Pack, Super B. I mean, just stupid names. Just stop. Has a range of 317 miles, which is pretty good for a car that weighs 6,000 pounds. But later on, we find out that the 317 is just, that's a joke. That's not even realistic. That's basically on the best day you could ever have. Lucky going downhill. The no great considering the capacity of a 100.5 kilowatt battery, whose size goes a long way toward explaining the curb weight. Remember, it weighs the same no matter how much power it has on board. An entry-level Lucid Air has an 88 kilowatt battery that can do 410 miles on one charge, possibly on a good day, if you're lucky. I love these ranges that have absolutely no basis in reality. If it's too hot, too cold, they don't work. If you turn the radio on, it takes off. You turn the air conditioning on, it takes off. If the sun's in the wrong spot, you can't let it go down less than 20%. You can't charge it over 80%. No, because that's what comes up in this article. And it gets worse. Upgrading a sporty Scat Pack, you automatically downgrade your charger driving range to 260 miles. The two models just the same battery, but Scat Pack makes 670 horsepower. Comes equipped with a range-sapping 20-inch wheel wrapped in fat rubber instead of the 18-inch hoops and skinnier tires. And those aren't real-world range numbers, remember. Owners will likely see lower figures, especially if they use performance at all. And let's say you never charge past 80% because you don't want to keep your battery in optimum health, and you never let it drop down to 20% of remaining range because you don't want to run out. Or actually, it's also bad. You can't run a lithium-ion battery out because you actually will damage it. Don't ever let your cell phone die, because that's why cell phones actually turn off now when they get very low. They will not let themselves run out because that is very bad for a lithium-ion battery. You can be looking at a practical working range of under 200 miles, which turns out to gives the Daytona Charger Scat Pack a strange kinship with the 68 to 70 Charger. Now, here's the Copium. So now they're trying to tie it into a car that is an icon. Okay. They believe inspired it. No, this had nothing to do with the appliance. That's what they want you to believe, that this is something to do with that appliance. It has nothing to do with that appliance. Had a reasonably large 19-gallon gas tank, but the car and driver did a 426 Hemi, which was a race engine. This had absolutely zero fuel efficiency. Zero. It was never made to have any type of efficiency at all. It was a race engine made to run at 7,000 RPM for hours. That is what a Hemi is. And a 4,000-pound car, according to the spec panel of the November 67 issue. And reportedly returned 19 to 12 miles per gallon, giving a range of 171 to 228. That compares to the EPA's 18 mile per gallon rating for the now dead 223 Charger 392. I guess that's combined because a Hellcat, and I have here an article, this is Stellantis in 2014, talking about the Hellcat, it's 22 miles per gallon on the highway. And I know that people average higher than that, and they got higher teens. So I don't know why they're in this article. They have to basically rip anything that has a real engine in it. So a suggested range of 333 miles. And that's going on a car's 18.5 gallon tank capacity. Oh, and in case you're wondering, the real 69 Charger Daytona Aero nose extension helped matters at all. It didn't much. Road Test Magazine covered 893 miles in a 440 wing car in 1969 and achieved 11.3 miles a gallon. Though a sign of how much things have changed, the writer seems quite impressed with that result. So, once again, 440 not designed for any type of fuel efficiency at all. The tires on those cars were bias ply. Bias ply actually are less efficient than radial tires by massive amounts. I mean, they are absolutely friction monsters. And that also probably had very tall gearing, had a 3-speed automatic with 1 to 1. I mean, this is like apples and oranges. This is like trying to compare, a refrigerator built in 1920 to a refrigerator built in, 2020. There's no comparison between the 2, except the one in 1920 was built better, and the same with this. It was built better, but it's not gonna be as efficient. This is insane. The copium with this is so strong. So when it comes to range, the '60s Charger and its modern electric namesake have plenty in common. No, no, they don't. Because see that 1968 Charger RT, I could run it down to nothing. I could push it into a gas station. I could fill it up in 5 minutes, and then I could drive off. And then I could do that again repeatedly for as many times as I want. This electric appliance, you can't let it run down to 0 because it may not charge. Also, it will not charge in 10 minutes. You will be there for a while, like a fool, like I see those people at Wawa sitting there having nothing better to do except stare at the sky, because that's really the reality of it. This article is insane. Everything about this is insane. And the copium at this point is getting just absolutely kind of annoying, and I just leave well enough alone. You can make these appliances if you like, that's fine. I don't wanna buy one, I won't buy one. I have too much self-respect to buy one, and, too much common sense. I don't like something that catches fire and never can be put out, that could catch fire again in 3 days. I've driven cars for, 30 something years. I've driven a million miles. I've never had a car catch fire on me, ever. I can't say that the same thing for a million miles of EV cars driving around, because unfortunately they do catch fire. It's kind of a thing. Lithium ion is a type of battery that is a little unstable, and it doesn't take much for it to actually catch fire. And also, in 56 years, I don't think anybody's gonna give a crap about this appliance. I know 56 this 56-year-old charger, there are massive amounts of money thrown around to buy these. When you pull up someplace, people stop and they look at it and they talk to you. I have my even with my charger, my 72, just trying to leave a hotel at a car show. I get stopped, and I had to leave early because I know enough people asking me about the car, wanting to see things on the car. These appliances don't have a personality, they don't have a soul. And, the other silly part about this thing is them saying it's the first muscle electric thing. I think Tesla already made a Plaid that runs like 9-second quarter miles, and they don't have to have stupid Sonic and whatnot, and they don't seem to make a lot of excuses that Stellantis is making and their Carnival Barker CEO at Dodge is doing. I I just I just can't understand this anymore, the copium, just the absolute lack of, standing on their own. They have to, you know, the thing about these is that they have to try to tear down and make it harder to have a real engine car so they can push these things that are not ready for prime time on us. And, good luck with this thing, this a very expensive thing. That's the other problem. You know, you can go buy a BRZ, which is a high performance little car from Subaru. It's based on the FRS with Toyota. They're very high performance little cars. They're like 20 something $1,000, and you can have all the fun in the world on them. Any of these electric things, you're looking 60 grand and up. And God help you when the insurance companies figure out that 6,000 pounds hitting stuff does a lot of damage, or to fix them is very, very expensive. So, yeah. So hopefully you got something from this. I had I'm sorry if I seem like I go ranting, but this just absolutely caught me. Uh, if you did, please hit that like button. If you did, thanks for watching this point, you know, because I appreciate it. If you wanna see more on actually cool cars like that '68 Charger, subscribe, and I would love to hear your comments on this because this thing is just ramping up to insanity, and I wanna hear the conversation on this, and of course, you can always share. So, with that, if you have a cool old classic car or something that's kinda fun, take it out because you're gonna make someone's day, maybe even your own. I'll catch you down the road.